A New Light Video Magazine, seeing in a new perspective. August issue, Volume 17. There's lots of good stuff in this issue, starting with our feature story, Lynn Geddes, a registered yoga teacher that shares the benefits of yoga. There's the city of Kish. What an interesting name. It's got a cool sound to it. It's kind of like Sean Connery talking about a rock band. Or certainly you've heard of Kish. No? Well then stay tuned, you might learn something. We're also going to get into Dead Time and the happiest place on earth, and so much more. You can also catch the monthly trivia and the ANA celestial calendar and forecast inside. To find out more, go to www.innewlightvideomagazine.com or follow us on YouTube. We'll see you there. The table of contents is designed for you to get the best enjoyment from INLVM. Simply find the story you want to experience from the contents and go to that time code, or let it play for the full issue. Other world news. The city of Kish, time code 256. Rolling Green Project, the reality of free energy QEDs, time code 556. Anomalous August, time code 937. Feature story, the benefits of yoga with Lynn Geddes, time code 1214. What's up? Uncovering unexplained phenomenon. Dead Time, time code 1825. Entertainment Central. Trivia Time, time code 2406. The happiest place on earth, time code 2532. Shazbot, time code 2757. Holistic Health. What to do with all these herbs? Time code 3033. Cocoa Mesquite Pancakes. Time code 3309. Astronomy and Astrology. Astronomy photo of the month, largest Luna of 2014. Time code 3457. The Rosetta Mission. Time code 3557. The new Astronomy and Astrology Celestial Events Calendar. Time code 4003. About in New Light Video Magazine. Time code 4916. Contributors and credits. Time code 5012.
City of Kish, 2,500-year-old subterranean city. The city of Kish, located in Karaz, Iran, is 16 meters, 52 feet below the Coral Island. These subterranean structures have ceilings that are 8 meters, 26 feet high and is covered by fossils, shells, and corals estimated to be 270 to 570 million years old, and covers an area of about 10,000 square meters. This magnificent island is located off the coast of Iran, with temperatures maintaining 74 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This subterranean city is being transformed into an ideal shopping area. What many do not know is that this one-of-a-kind city is ancient engineering at its best. This city was once an ancient hydraulic system. Known as a qanat by the Iranians, this engineering wonder was built long before the Roman aqueducts. Strategically engineered, this qanat watered crops and supplied fresh water to the people of the island. With gently sloped horizontal tunnels that run several kilometers long, this aqueduct technology can be described as the greatest contribution made by the Iranians to hydraulics. The sad thing is there isn't much known about this aqueduct, nothing publicized, that is. It is very important to note here that all this was done long before the Roman aqueducts. Having to reinforce the tunnels with mortar and stone to create the subterranean world, the Kish Qanat is now an amazing underground city filled with shops, amphitheater, art galleries, and restaurants. It's hard to believe it is an engineering wonder. It is truly amazing at the genius it took to build such a creation. It simply amazes me at the inventions that were around at that time. One would have to ask himself, how did they have such technology that long ago? Do they still have records of inventions such as this? Or are they lost in the sands of time? Looking back on these historical finds can be simply mind-blowing. Makes you take a second look at the other so-called myths that are tossed aside. They are still in the process of fixing it up, making it a wonderful shopping experience for the locals. They will be bringing in boats to shuttle the tourists down the Shanami Tunnel, where water still flows. Their plans are to make Kish a big tourist attraction, and I believe it is one historical wonder to be seen indeed. Thank you for watching and listening. This is Stacy Hill, shining light on the oldest hydraulic engineering wonder in New Light Video Magazine.
The reality of free energy, quantum energy devices. Those of you following the Rolling Green project may know that we have been hoping to start our own QEG, or Quantum Energy Generator project, and see if it could be used to be self-sustaining, and then grown for a larger scale community usage. We had found plans for the generator and things seemed promising with a group that has been trying to produce one of these devices. So in the reality of it, no one since Tesla has actually made one of these devices work properly and actually made it well known. While zero-point energy and quantum energy mechanics are not the total science fiction they used to be, our technology, at least publicly, has not quite achieved the necessary understanding to make these devices readily available. But that doesn't mean that they're not definitely the hope for our future with a clean energy that will not need fossil fuels or other resources that deplete the earth. Zero-point energy is the ground point energy that uses the wave-like nature of the quantum physics to result in a motion created at absolute zero as input, usually relating to the electromagnetic fields. These electromagnetic fields are actually ripples of waves with energy that are a residual effect of another energy resource that has been stopped, and also the natural conductor of light energy. While quantum physics is still largely theoretical, it is a part of science that will truly open up new frontiers when it is fully understood. Many people have videos on YouTube and other social networking sites that show devices that have been made, but none of them ever actually show much in the way of proof that they work to support and sustain an output of energy. The perpetual motion generators using magnets have had a better result in showing how a small amount of energy can be input to start a process that will create a motion that continues to create its own motion and output enough energy to power other things as well. We have talked about these things before with the reference to the Hojo motor, which is allegedly built using the designs of inventor and hotel mogul Howard Johnson. The Hojo motor uses magnets to create a perpetual motion and output power in theory. There are as many naysayers about this motor as there are the people who claim to have built one. There are plans you can buy to build your own, which claim full authenticity, and others that claim that these plans are a total scam. We are at a point of feeling like it's time to put one of these to the test and see if it can actually be made to work. The Rolling Green project has some exciting plans upcoming before the end of the year, so we would like your opinions on which one of these two devices to try as a project to help us create a sustainable energy for an eco-retreat. If you have any knowledge about these devices, we would love to have your input on the In New Light Video Magazine website. If you know of anyone that has actually made a working QED or PMG, we would love to know more about their project and interview anyone with working knowledge on these motors and generators. We look forward to many new and exciting things happening in the near future as we begin a project to build that eco-friendly retreat. Keep up with our progress at www.rollinggreenproject.org. This is Samantha Phoenix with the Rolling Green Project for a New Light Video Magazine.
Contact us at innewlightmag@gmail.com for information on placing your advertisement in our publication.
Anomalous August. August is here upon us again. This is our second August we are spending with you, our viewers. Ironically, even though it is the beginning of harvest season, it is the hottest time of the year here in southern Georgia. The corn has died, the cotton plants are beginning to bloom, tobacco plants are getting ready to be harvested, and leaves are beginning to turn. Yes, fall is in the air in the northern hemisphere. For those in the southern hemisphere, spring is fast approaching. This is the time children start back to school and vacation time is over. August 1st was known as Lammas Day and is a celebration of the wheat harvest or Feast of the First Fruits. It is celebrated by England, Scotland, pagans, and some Christians. It was customary to bring a loaf of bread to church to be blessed. Then it was cut in fourths and placed in each corner of the barn for protection. Get ready for some get-togethers. August 3rd is Friendship Day. Hope you remembered. For all those book lovers out there, the 9th is our day. It is followed by Lazy Day on the 10th. You can cool off on the 14th enjoying some ice cream for National Creamsicle Day. Ironically, it's followed by National Relaxation Day on the 15th. 2 days for taking it easy in August. Now that's what I'm talking about. August is a month of mixed feelings. One of parents being happy their kids are returning to school, and one of sadness for them. Many are returning back to college as well. For those couples that are reuniting, August 25th is Kiss and Make Up Day. Oh, and you can get some brownie points on the 27th by giving a small gift on Just Because Day. On a sad note, the 24th is known as Vesuvius Day. It marks the day Mount Vesuvius exploded. Here in South Georgia, it feels like summer is making his last stand. Temperatures are warmer and the humidity is overwhelming. But still, we are wanting to hold on to that last part of warm weather we can. Most of us are getting ready for the last get-together of the summer, Labor Day, on September 1st. Whatever you're doing and wherever you are, stay safe, love the ones you're with, and get some you time and celebrate the gradual changing of the seasons. This is Stacy Hill helping you kiss the Leo sun goodbye. And New Light Video Magazine.
Man, they're totally trying to abduct me. Yeah, some weird portal opened near the ruins and I'm fighting for my life here. Check the mini-map and help me out.
Feature Story with Lynn Geddes. Registered yoga teacher shares the benefits of yoga. And New Light Video Magazine had the opportunity to meet with professional yoga instructor Lynn Geddes of Yoga Me Fit. Lynn has a bachelor's degree in health and fitness management and is a registered yoga teacher with 26 years of experience. Before doing an interview with Lynn, I decided to get more acquainted with her yoga practice by looking up her website. I was amazed at the great benefits yoga has to offer to people at any age, and especially those in need of pain management. Lynn is the owner and operator of the Yoga Me Fit Yoga Studio that is located at the Anahata Healing Arts Center in Savannah, Georgia. We were able to catch Lynn at Anahata for an informative interview on the benefits of yoga. I had no idea how valuable it could be to the body, so I asked her to tell us a little about her practice, Yoga Me Fit, and if she could share some information about yoga in general.
Yoga Me Fit is basically more of a traditional style of yoga that I kind of made my own through soul progression yoga. And looking at yoga, a lot of it's westernized a lot with just focusing on the physical practice, where we do pranayama, mantra chanting, and also meditation in addition to the physical practice. So when we look at how yoga benefits you, it's multi-layered. It's just not physical, because you're tapping in to the emotional, the mental, the energetic, and the spiritual aspects of your whole self.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I have over 1,000 hours of training in. It's called Anusara Yoga, and it is an offshoot of like Iyengar Yoga, which is an alignment-based yoga. So I do use alignment to align the musculoskeletal system to create space in the joints to prevent hyperextension, which brings optimal blood flow through the body. So a lot of people get a misconception about yoga being that you're supposed to be really flexible, but at first you have to cultivate strength, and then the flexibility will come from that. In my soul progression classes, we do that energy of learning how to pull from the focal point or the periphery from the foundation into a focal point. And then from that focal point, we push back out. So we feel like we're drawing from periphery to core, and then we're moving energy organically back out from core to periphery. The important thing really in yoga is the breath. Because if you're doing everything alignment-wise correctly, but you're not utilizing the breath to power that energy and move that energy, then you really lose a lot of the healing benefits that yoga has to offer. So in most classes, people start with the focus of the breath just to get them in the rhythm of how to breathe properly and how not to rush the breath. And I like to cue my students as like one breath, one action. It's important that people find a teacher that resonates with them so it makes them want to start this journey and continue this journey, because it is such a process. You're working through fears. A lot of people have a lot of fears, and if you've ever been traumatized or injured, you're holding that in your body. And it's important that each person honors that and respects that path so that they're working at their pace to find that own healing from within. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I love giving people the tools and the opportunity to take this education that I'm offering, because that's exactly what I'm doing. You're not just coming in a yoga class and running through poses. You're understanding how important it is to set a foundation, how to create form and balance and harmony within and outside of yourself. Because when you can find that peace, balance, and harmony within, then you can find it in the external world, in the midst of the chaos and the confusion and the twists and turns that life gives you sometimes. It allows you to go back and hold to that center of power for what you've learned about this exploration or this journey of yoga, and then use that in your daily life. I do always encourage all of my students and clients to go try other yoga classes, seek out other teachers, because every teacher has something to offer, and everyone connects differently to yoga.
It was great to chat with Lynn to gain more information about a practice that some may think is just about exercise and gaining more flexibility. We found that yoga is not just about moving the body, it is about getting in tune with your body. One thing Lynn stressed with me is that yoga is a very personal experience and should be customized to the needs of the client, which is why it is essential to find a knowledgeable instructor to guide and plan a routine for you so that you really can get the most benefit from yoga. If you follow that simple plan, chances are yoga will become a vital part of your daily life to maintain a healthier, more vibrant you. This is Tammy with Lynn Geddes sharing some of the great benefits that yoga has to offer.
What's up? Uncovering unexplained phenomena. Dead time. Between 3 and 3:20. In the field of parapsychology, the term dead time is a time that is considered an optimal time to research possible paranormal phenomena. Many paranormal researchers prefer to do investigations during this time frame because it's believed to be the best time to capture any unusual phenomena. But what time is that, and where did we get the idea from, right? Now that we have established what we are going to be looking into and what questions we will be answering, let's start unfolding some information and light on dead time as it relates to parapsychology. When is dead time? It has been generally noted at or around 3 a.m., but if we want to be more specific, let's say between 3 a.m. and 3:20 a.m. There are several reasons to ponder how 3 a.m. or 3:20 became dead time. Of course, we all know that 3 a.m. is what we consider to be the middle of the night for most of us, and is when we are typically sleeping. It's the darkest time of the day and typically the spookiest too. What makes it so spooky is the fact that we can't see as well. It's that fear of the dark. There are more stories, books, and shows that have been created from pulling on the fear of darkness than I could even begin to name. Now that we have established the time of dead time, Let's look into the idea of why this is considered dead time. I know I have already spoke about some reasons when I mentioned that it is the dead of the night, or the middle of the night, which is the darkest and spookiest, but there is actually more on how this time was established. So how 3:20 a.m.? Years of research from countless teams have been able to determine that this is when the veil between the physical plane and spiritual plane is the thinnest. To all the researchers out there, that is something that I'm sure we have all heard and more than likely have even said. What is the veil for the rest of us? Right? For the most part, many of us are unaware of a spiritual part of life and a physical one. We live in the physical part, yet we are still spiritual beings. In science, mainly metaphysics, we reason that these exist at the same time, but on different planes, much like the heaven and earth concept. We don't see heaven, but we believe it is there. At 3:20 a.m., the line that separates these planes is called the veil. Speaking of heaven and earth, some researchers may not even realize that it is also in Scripture. 1 Kings 3:20 speaks of dead time. 1 Kings 3:20. And rising in the dead time of the night, she took my child from my side, while I, thy handmaid, was asleep, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. Is it ironic or coincidence that it appears in chapter 3, verse 20? We have explored what dead time is, but there is one very crucial part to this story that we are just now beginning to open. This is a good part for researchers, seasoned and new, those just acquainted for the first time with the idea of dead time, and those that have only considered the darkest hours for dead time. Let's analyze time itself for a moment. We have 24 hours in a day that repeat a 12-hour cycle, which means there are 2 times during the day that hit on 3:20. So what, right? Well, I have been researching this for several years, and I have found that there are a lot of paranormal phenomena occurrences reported not only around 3 a.m., but also 3 p.m. times. Most significantly, 3:20 p.m. Therefore, we are bringing a new light on dead time, in the sense that it's not limited to just the dark hours of the night, but the daylight hours too. Honestly, even with the understanding that dead time is significant in paranormal research, there must be something even more that connects the physical and spiritual in time, and how it is relative to 3 o'clock and 3:20. I have found very little information on other researchers that are pondering this perspective. I think that it is certainly worth more investigation, and perhaps new realization can be found that connect these planes of life. If you're tired of the same old ghost hunts and paranormal shows, try getting your spook on in the light of day and see what you might uncover. Since A New Light video magazine is all about sharing new perspectives and bringing information into a new light, I think it is important to go ahead and note that the term dead time can refer to other things as well. A. It can refer to time spent in prison that does not count toward time sentenced. B. In detection systems, it is the time after each event during which the system is not able to record another event. An example is the pause or delayed time between taking photos with a flash. Article by Tammy Sabo, sharing a new perspective on dead time. History, hauntings, happenings. Find your truth with Sixth Sense World. www.sixthsenseworld.com. Entertainment Central. Yeah. It's our trivia time. Music trivia. The answer to last issue's trivia question. How many Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band songs were released as singles? 0. As Wikipedia states, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band is the 8th studio album by the Beatles. The original intention was to record an album of material that was thematically linked to the artist's childhoods. The first tracks recorded for the project were Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane. But with pressure from EMI, the songs were released as a double A-sided single and were not included on the album. This issue's trivia question. In 1964, which trumpeter was the oldest person ever to score a chart-topping single? Look for the answer in the next issue, baby. And a new trivia question. I quit! Scorpions and logs are one thing, but this is stupid. And stop hiding my money behind the trees. The happiest place on earth, where dreams come true. Rich here with INLVM, and I want to tell you about a dream that grew into what many call the happiest place on earth. I'm talking about Walt Disney's dream to create wholesome entertainment for the whole family to enjoy. Disney once said, "All of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." He proved that he was a man of his word. It took only a year from concept to creation for Disney to open the gates to his first theme park, Disneyland, in July of 1955. Walt created a world where imagination could come to life. His characters stepped off the movie screens into reality and captured our imaginations in a whole new way. When you entered the park, you could be greeted by Mickey saying, "Ha ha! Hi everybody!" If you needed help finding something, you might hear Goofy say, "Oh yuck, gorsh, maybe I can help." Every character we grew to love came to life right before our eyes, proving yet another quote from Walt. If you can dream it, you can do it. His belief that laughter is timeless, imagination has no age, and dreams are forever lives on even today. The parks he created draw millions of children of all ages from all walks of life year-round. I got to visit for my very first time last year on my birthday, and I must say there truly is something magical about the experience. With all the shows, rides, characters, and events, you have no choice but to let your inner child come out to play. In closing, I leave you with one more quote from Walt Disney, who said, "Disneyland will never be completed. It will continue to grow as long as there is imagination left in the world." Considering that Disney has a way of inspiring imagination, its future looks as bright as its electric light parade. Who says big dreams can't start small? After all, the happiest place on earth began with a mouse. This is Rich. Thanks for watching and listening. Have a great day. Contact us at innewlightmag@gmail.com for information on placing your advertisement in our publication. Rich here, and it's hard to go from a story about the happiest place on earth to one about remembrance. I want to take a moment to remember a great actor and all-around funny person, Robin Williams. The actor and comedian passed on Monday, August the 11th, in his home. His wife, Susan Schneider, stated in a letter to CNN that she hoped that the focus would not be on his death, but rather the joy and laughter he brought to so many. In honor of her request, I would like to share some of those moments with you. I grew up watching Robin Williams in the role of Mork on Mork and Mindy. The show was funny enough to me as a kid, but I recently picked up the first and second season on DVD and realized just how much of the humor I missed as a child. The show was a riot, and might just surprise you what they got away with on TV when it was on the air. Then there was his stand-up. The man was amazing to watch on stage. He strolled through different characters and impersonations while poking fun at subjects other comedians might feel nervous to touch. He was a quick-witted, improvisational master. Robin Williams' performances packed theaters and earned him standing ovations before his shows ever even started. His highly animated delivery of comedy and wide range of voices make it easy to see why he was the perfect choice to voice so many animated characters. His talents took characters like the genie from Aladdin, the bat from Fern Gully, and more recently the penguin from Happy Feet, to name a few, and brought them to life for kids of all ages to enjoy. Robin Williams built a legacy of laughter, and he will live forever in the hearts of everyone he ever inspired or made chuckle. I could close by saying Mork has signed off, but I'd rather use his greeting, Nanu Nanu, because we'll definitely see him again somewhere. And because I think Shazbot is profanity, he left an impact on entertainment as an actor, stand-up comedian, film producer, screenwriter, and voice actor, nominated 3 times for Academy Award for Best Actor, and won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his performance in Good Will Hunting. 2 Emmy Awards, 4 Golden Globe Awards, 2 Screen Actor Guild Awards, and 5 Grammy Awards. This is Rich and the staff of INLVM remembering Robin Williams. When information is beyond belief, beyond conspiracy, or beyond the norm, then it's beyond news. Find out more at articlechase.com/beyond news.
What do we do with all these herbs? It's getting close to that time of year again, harvest. So you grew an herb garden. Now what do we do with all these helpful herbs? Many of us have made the decision to begin eating healthier, and great taste goes with that. Herbs are awesome addition to our foods and to aid us in our health. Most of us do not know what to do with them after that. There are many ways to use them. Drying them is pretty much a must for the leafy herbs. Hanging them upside down from a string is a good way, but can require a bit of space. One good way to dry them is over your sink. Helps with the space issue. Some use the oven on very low to dry them. Personally, this method hasn't worked well for me, but maybe you might have better luck. I do know certain herbs do not do well drying like that, so you might want to do some research on it. On some of the plants, you can dry the root as well to use at a later date. You can then use these herbs in teas, put them in oils, use them in your baths, add them to your bath salts, grind them for use in facials for mask and exfoliation benefits. You can add certain ones to witch hazel to customize it, especially for your skin type, such as chamomile. If you enjoy making soap, you can add them to that as well. Want a pretty, unique candle? Melt and pour your own candle for a handmade, unique gift. When adding to oils, you can make your own specialty olive oil. You can customize different one as well, having a garlic olive oil, rosemary olive oil, and so on. Do you love relaxing baths? Add Epsom salt, baking soda, and some oil you made, then add some chamomile flowers or maybe some rose petals for a spa feel. You can also make a tea from the dried herbs to use for making shampoo. Oh, and don't forget foot soaks. As you can see, the list of what to do with all your herbs goes on and on. Take your time and do some research for yourself. I believe you will really be surprised of the possibilities. We hope you enjoyed this article, bringing uses of herbs into new light. Thank you very much for watching and listening. This is Stacy Hill in New Light Video Magazine.
Healthy cocoa mesquite pancakes. I created this recipe while experimenting with the mesquite flour we milled, looking for some lower carb alternatives for cakes, cookies, breads, muffins, and pancakes. The flours with the lowest net carbs I found were used in this recipe, so it's not only delicious and nutritious, but also has a wonderfully low glycemic impact for those with insulin intolerance. You want to use 1/4 cup mesquite flour, 1/4 cup coconut flour, 1/2 cup almond flour, 1/4 cup cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1/2 to 1 teaspoon salt, and 2 tablespoons sugar or your favorite sugar substitute, or add a little more for your taste. 1 egg beaten, 2 tablespoons coconut oil, 1 cup of milk, you can use cow, goat, soy, almond, or etc., and add a little more for a thick cake batter consistency if needed, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Combine flours, sweetener, baking powder, and salt in a large bowl, mixing well and scooping a crater into the middle. In a separate bowl, whip the eggs and pour into the center of the crater on the dry mix. Add the milk and oil and use a whisk or fork to begin blending the dry mix into the wet. Once the dry mix is fully moistened, add the vanilla and stir one last time, squishing any lumps in the flour. Heat an oiled griddle or skillet on medium heat and drop in silver dollar-sized spoonfuls of the batter and cook until the centers are dry. Overcooking them slightly without burning will also enhance the mesquite flavor. Top with any of your favorite pancake toppings or just a nice pat of warm butter. This is Samantha Phoenix with healthy recipes for a delicious nutrition.
Astronomy and astrology. Astronomy photo of the month. Largest Luna of 2014. The 2014 August full moon on the 13th was the largest full moon of the year. Of course, it really didn't grow. It is just a lot closer. How close? At the time of the full moon, our great light in the dark night was only about 220,000 miles away from Earth. Being so close, it was a dream for moon gazers and lunar photographers, as it creates the best time to get great details of Earth's little partner in space. This image was captured by the INLVM astronomy team. Image credit, INLVM Gallery, and photographer Tammy Sabo. This is Tammy Sabo with INLVM's Astronomy Photo of the Month. The Rosetta Mission. To begin this story, we have to go back to 1969, as that is when it all started. Klim Churyumov and Svetlana Gerasimenko discovered comet 67P on September 20th of 1969. It was then given the names of its discoverers to become known as Comet 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko and is referred to as Comet 67P CG. It has an orbital period of 6.45 years and is due to swing by our Sun about a year from now on August 13th in 2015. The European Space Agency launched the Rosetta Mission, a robotic spacecraft, on March 2nd of 2004. Rosetta has been flying through space in a hibernation-type status for 10 years in pursuit of Comet 67P CG in the effort to catch it and then conduct a detailed study of the comet. After 4 billion miles of travel across the solar system and a decade later, on August 6th, the chase was complete. The Rosetta craft made history this month as the first robotic probe from Earth designed to orbit and land on a comet. If all goes as expected with plans, it is due to enter its orbit and land a robotic spacecraft lander called Philae on the comet in November. Now the chase is over and we are there. When I first heard of this story, it sounded like the movie with Ben Affleck, Bruce Willis, and Liv Tyler called Armageddon. With that movie in mind, I became curious as to why they chose this particular comet that is due to fly by next year. The researcher in me had to determine if there was any untold story about this launch and chase. The investigation didn't turn up any ominous news, just that 67P CG may not have been the first choice. It appears they just set out to find a comet, and this was one of them. It is reported that a delay in launch prevented them from pursuing their first choice, Comet 46P Retrograde. I still wonder though, although the movie was about an asteroid and this is a comet, landing on a comet? Why? It just seems like a lot of trouble to go through and should have a good reason. The reason driving this mission is research. Scientists believe that a detailed study of this comet can give us Earthlings a better knowledge of other comets, the solar system, and its life. They say that comets could be the bringers of life to planets. During impact could create the transformation in planets like our Earth that created life and an atmosphere. They intend to record how it breaks up and slowly falls apart as it gets closer to our Sun and makes its majestic comet tail that sets it apart from other objects in the sky. Whatever the case, the Rosetta mission plainly intended to chase down Comet 67P CG and land on it. That just sounds out of this world crazy, doesn't it? And it's happening right now. The research is scheduled for a year, and the knowledge that has already been gained is changing what we thought we knew about comets. Right now, Rosetta is traveling within 145 miles of the comet. That is closer to the comet than the International Space Station is to Earth. Happy landing, Philae or Philae. And congratulations to the European Space Agency for making history this month, and more than likely will several more times over the course of their year-long study. This is Tammy Sabo with the INLVM's Breaking News in Astronomy. Astronomy and Astrology Celestial Calendar and Forecast, August through September 2014. The new astronomy calendar and astrology forecast are combined in one easy-to-follow presentation, where you can see what is happening by the date that the events are occurring in one section. INLVM presents the new ANA Celestial Calendar and Forecast. Enjoy. Sunday, August 10th, the full sturgeon moon, also called the full red moon, green corn moon, or grain moon, in the astronomical sign of Aquarius and the astrological sign of Aquarius. And yes, they are different. They can be sometimes. In astrology, when the moon is in Aquarius, our actions can become unusual or radical. We are more likely to engage in social activities and group projects during this phase. This creates an ideal time for new projects to emerge, as we are more open and usually urged to brainstorm new ideas with others. We are often more impersonal and detached during this phase, and usually pull from our own more intellectual side and less emotional, which means we are less likely to want to deal with deep emotional issues right now. Wednesday, August 13th, we have the peak of the Perseids meteor shower. It's active from July 17th through August 24th, and on peak we could see as many as 100 per hour. It's got to be the greatest show of the summer for as far as meteor showers go. But we have some more coming too, so. On Monday, on August 18th, we have the peak of the Kappa Cygnids meteor shower. It's active from August 3rd through August 25th, and on peak we can see about 3 per hour. Monday, August 25th, we have the new moon in the astronomical sign of Leo, in the astrological sign of Virgo. In astrology, it tells us that the new moon in Virgo is a good time to simplify your life. This dark moon is for healing, detoxing, and cleansing. New moons such as this one can be rejuvenating. From the darkness will emerge light, and just like that, we can emerge from this transition feeling that we are embarking on new beginnings. This is a powerful manifesting new moon. Concentrate on what you would like to bring into your life. It can urge you to tidy up all areas of your life, as well as take some time for yourself. On Monday, September 1st, we have the peak of the Alpha Augurids meteor shower. It's active from August 29th through September 4th, and on peak we can see about 6 per hour. On Monday, September 8th, we have the full harvest moon, also called the fruit moon. It's in the astronomical sign of Aquarius and the astrological sign of Pisces. In astrology, we're looking at the sign of Pisces, and this full moon in Pisces sets the tone for sensitivity and compassionate emotions. We may find ourselves reaching out to others in need with a strong desire to help thy fellow humans. During this phase, our passions are heightened, spurring our imagination and creativity. We are likely to be able to experience a more intense and meaningful appreciation in life, and especially forms of art. This transit usually brings out the artist in us. It can also make us dreamy and lost in our thoughts. Relaxation and quiet time may be a focus. On Tuesday, September 9th, we have the peak of the September Epsilon Perseids meteor shower. It's active from September 1st to September 28th. And on peak, we can see about 5 per hour. On Monday, September 22nd, in the Northern Hemisphere, we'll be entering our autumn equinox. In the Southern Hemisphere, you'll be entering your spring equinox. Tuesday, September 23rd, Pluto comes out of retrograde and goes direct, remaining in the sign of Capricorn. Pluto entered retrograde April 14th of 2014 in Capricorn. It will be in retrograde until now, September 23rd of 2014. What happens when it comes out of retrograde? Pluto is the planet that reveals our deep desires, secrets, and darker sides. For the past 5 months, Pluto pulled the focus toward ourselves. This forced us to examine these areas of ourselves to face our fears and truths. Coming out of retrograde, it is likely to bring suppressed feelings and truths to the surface. I like to think of Pluto as a revealer or auditor that helps us see what needs improvement or what isn't working. Wednesday, September 24th, we have the new moon in the astronomical sign of Virgo and in the astrological sign of Libra. In astrology, we'll look into what the new moon means in the astrological sign of Libra. The influence of the new moon in Libra will urge us to bring balance to our relationships. This is a good time to occupy yourself by taking the time to review all your relationships, both personal and professional. Libra's need for balance will urge us to find resolve with any relationships that are out of balance in our lives. Or it could inspire us to finally make a decision to remove what is keeping us off balance. This is a good time to start writing out a plan to reach your goals, and usually urges us to start planning ahead to get organized. Now let's take a look at the planets in retrograde during August and September of 2014. And here you can see that a planet going retrograde will appear to rotate in a backward motion. This is more of just an illusion, as it's from the perspective that we look at that planet from Earth. Let's see what the retrograde planets have in store for us. August through September, Chiron entered retrograde on June 20th, 2014 in Pisces. It is in retrograde until November 23rd. Chiron is the planet of the healer, and in retrograde makes the healer part of us feel a need to be healed. During this phase, we may find ourselves holding on to hurt feelings. Feeling wounded or hurt can be felt more intensely. Being able to forgive could create a challenge. While your hurts may be very real, realizing that they are being intensified can help you work through situations. So try not to allow yourself to be the wounded duck. You don't have to crash, and it will get better. By helping others with similar wounds, it can help us heal our own. August through September, we'll have Uranus in retrograde. Uranus entered retrograde July 21st of 2004 in Aries, and is in retrograde until December 21st of 2014. Uranus tends to be more potent and more intense when in retrograde, so expect the unexpected. It will give a new driving power to need change in our lives. It can create rebelliousness against any sort of discipline if we feel trapped. It's a good time to focus on making plans on how to change what needs changed, and also allows us to think about our reaction to changes. It also gives us a chance to rethink and organize. Uranus retrograde forces us to confront our fears and personal blocks and creates moments of realization. If you're in the wrong job, working toward the wrong degree, or dating the wrong person, Uranus retrograde will let you know. Neptune is another one of our retrograde planets, August through September. Neptune entered retrograde June 9th of 2014 in Pisces. It is in retrograde until November 16th of 2004. Neptune in retrograde can bring about confusion and deception. It can make us feel a little more paranoid than usual. Efforts to quit bad habits are more likely to be delayed and stalled. This retrograde is especially known to cause heightened sensitivity and receptivity, which is your intuition. We are more likely to see things that may have eluded us before. If you are already a fairly sensitive person that seems to be able to feel others, this could produce moments of psychic overload. This period is excellent for developing your psychic perceptions and general intuition. Pay attention to your instincts and gut feelings. There may be something more to our dreams, so pay attention to your dreams as well. That concludes our astronomy and astrology, celestial calendar, and forecast. Visit our website at www.neolitevideomagazine.com for more information and some cool merchandise. Check out our whole site to see what we have to offer. I'm Tammy Sabo, the INLVM staff astrologer, sharing an outlook on astronomy and astrology.
About in New Light Video Magazine. We are the first of our kind as a video magazine, and we look forward to bringing you, our viewers and listeners, into thinking of new possibilities and gaining new perspectives with each issue. To find out more about us, what we do, and how to become a contributor to show your support, please go to our website for additional information. There you can find many of our social media connections, such as our blogs, archives, Blog Talk Radio, and our new virtual world experience. That website is www.newlightvideomagazine.com or www.inlvm.com. As always, thank you for your support, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
I watched this entire video and there wasn't one story about the rock band Kish. I'm thoroughly disappointed. I should hope that it'll be in the next issue, or at least some reference to them perhaps.